Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So we're continuing this reading of this very small book of Yorkshire Wisdom. It's pretty hilarious. It's super my taste because it's very witty, and each one you don't know what's coming. So let's continue there and get the conversation going. Ryan, do you ever wonder what would happen if you just walked away and left it all behind? Sarah, you'd search and search until that glorious day when you found something else to run away from. Husband and wife from North Yorkshire. We're always searching, aren't we? Looking for the next adventure, looking for something else. We don't really stay stagnant for long, especially inquisitory minds. Next one. To show a child what has once delighted you, to find the child's delight added to your own, so that there is now a double delight seen in the glow of trust and affection. This is happiness. This is wonderful because when you have children, you get to see that. You share a hobby with them. They're loving it because you love it. And you're just swimming in memories. It's fantastic. That's why Chelsea Handler types who are extremely vulgar and glorify childless lives just can't comprehend how wonderful it is for moms such as myself to have carried your child to term by the permission of Allah, gotten through the difficult recovery stages, and then you're sharing memories with your children. It's just such a powerful blessing that cannot be mimicked by a cat, a dog, or a friend. It's something that you can only get in the interaction with your children, and it has a lasting happiness that outweighs the single life, boss babe, whatever. Next one here. Telling a sulking 3-year-old that they can play again tomorrow is like telling a grown-up football fan that England might do better at the next World Cup. Shane, house husband from South Yorkshire. This one was unique because I don't care for soccer, but I just think it's funny how much people from England care about soccer. And it's like they don't really do well, I guess, right? The English. You know, a lot of my Mexican friends, they argue about soccer teams, and the Guatemalans argue about their soccer teams, and so it's very tense. Whenever there's a soccer game, my neighbors, since most of them are Latino or Brazilian, they're always shouting and screaming, and they have a giant barbecue, and I always know there's a soccer game going on. More like growing up in a little bit in Utah and Philly, you'd have football games, the NFL, but the party would be after, but with Latinos it's during the game, which I always thought was cool. Me. Can you count to 10? Noah, my 3-year-old son. Yes, Daddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Me. Can you count backwards? Noah thinks. Yep. Turns his back on me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you get it? So he asked the kid, can you count backwards? He meant like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. But the kid, he goes, He turns his back backwards to his dad and then counts. Hilarious. Kids are so funny. Next one. There's no more heartwarming a sound than that of a fully committed and uncontrollable belly laugh from your toddler, especially if you are the comedian responsible for it. Joe from Thirsk. This is very true. Just like now when my baby's starting to smile a lot, like she smiles and you can just play peekaboo, kiss her feet, it's totally adorable and it melts your heart. But when she gets to the stage where she can laugh, I'm gonna have to be a little bit of a comedian. Be a little comedian for the baby. As we read the school reports on our children, we realize a sense of relief that can rise to delight. That thank heaven no one is reporting in this fashion on us. Joseph Priestley, 18th century theologian and writer from West Yorkshire. This is Very true. The school that my kid goes to, right? They give these super, like, packet detailed reports on your kid that can make you depressed as a parent. And I just don't even pay attention to them. You sign it, that you read it, and I just toss it out. They make us go through meetings. It was like 6 people. I have a lot of disdain. Like, they care and they want you to have a smart kid, but it's drudgery. And every minute detail, you're like, okay. Like, I don't know. There's a double-edged sword to that. You can find where your kids' weaknesses are, perfect them, but you can also over analyze them to where they feel inferior. So, you know, it's quite intense. Like, when you go to work and you have like a performance report, those are always very alarming because you're hoping to have good, and then when the bad comes up, you're like, it's just shocking. Like its politicians and its war, society has the teenagers it deserves. John Boynton Priestley, writer and broadcaster from Bradford. Yeah, you get what you vote for, but also you get the teenagers you deserve. I don't think you're a proper grown-up until you become a parent. Marie, PR consultant from Wakefield. Yeah, I mean, when you have to have a child and you know that if anything happens to this child, your soul is gonna scream. It just changes the game. That's why it's always alarming when you see a bad parent, where someone doesn't love their children to that extent, because you see how like they are a deformity, they are a malfunction, they are terrible, they are to be made an example of in terms of how not to be. But when you realize you're responsible for maintaining, nurturing, nourishing this little human, you just are so much more protective. Your waking and your sleeping are totally different. You're no longer just thinking about yourself and eating and then going out. It's just like you are focused on how is this little human. You're attentive. I know that'll trigger some people, but whatever. The best thing about being a mom is caring about another human more than yourself, especially if you were previously a self-absorbed narcissist like I was. Carla from Hull. Yeah, that's so true. It's beautiful when you see some women admit how motherhood changed them for the better. It's only family and very close friends that are really that interested in our lives. Actually, I'll refine that further. It's only our mums that are truly interested in our lives. Jeremy Postman from Barnsley. This is interesting. That's why it's always heartbreaking if you don't have a good mom who's present, right? Because your mom cares about you. It's like, what are you doing? How was your day? Like, they worry about you. A good mother, that is. That's why all of us women who become mothers must try to be our best and help women to become the best of themselves. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Def Leppard rock band from Sheffield. Fade away seems more sad, right? But burnout sounds like a final shebang. It's funny, man. Going to the things I annotated. Dishonesty is fundamentally wrong, but it is the motivation behind a lie that determines how wrong it is. Lauren, career advisor from West Yorkshire. That's really interesting when you think about it, because the motivation hints to our intention. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in our chest, knows our intentions. And that we have to constantly check ourselves and make sure that we are keeping them pure. But it is wrong. It is wrong, and I hope we all can do better. Next one. Any action that makes you lose self-respect is a wrong action. Anonymous from Yorkshire. Yeah. And the adult entertainment industry It makes you lose self-respect because you must take money to do the most degrading things. And no matter how you brainwash yourself and tell you that letting someone pee on you or do something vulgar is empowering, feministic, ideals, utopia, just isn't the case. If it was, you wouldn't have to use drugs, you wouldn't have to go to therapy afterwards for it, and you wouldn't have flashbacks that make you cringe, right? If you lose your self-respect, it haunts you. That's how you know you've lost some self-respect, because you're ashamed of it. And if you have to keep repeating to yourself that it's all okay, well, it must not be that okay then, is it? The more pleasure you can take from other people's good qualities, the more likely you are to possess these qualities in yourself. Renee from Yorkshire Twitter. Sounds a lot like how we're told as Muslims to sit amongst the righteous because some of their habits will rub off on us. If your actions don't mirror your beliefs, you have to change your actions or change your beliefs. Unhappiness waits if not. Jamil, a pharmacist from Halifax. See, like a freaking pharmacist saying this stuff. It's very true. Make it all match up. Because if not, you're pretty much a hypocrite at that point, right? It's quite intense when you think about how people are in that way. Okay, we'll pause it there. But I really like that book. Truly. It's hilarious. It's got a lot of different things in there. Let me know what you think. And by the way, if you'd like to join my blog, it's www.subscribestar.com/Milahan Archive. Hope to see you there.